What's up everyone, and welcome back to the Stonage channel. And today we've got something very important, very tasty for you. So obviously yesterday I made this video talking about Liverpool's future under Klopp and under FSG. Like a god to my prayer, he answered, and we got several bits of breaking news yesterday that could mean good and could mean bad for the future of Liverpool Football Club. So according to Mohammed Saeed Al-Kaibi, via the Anfield Talk, Liverpool are expecting a formal bid for the club in the near future, with Sam Wallace in the Telegraph echoing this sentiment. So we're going to talk about the benefits of this and where it comes in with Paris Saint-Germain and how Liverpool can operate under a new Qatari ownership if it was to come about. And what are the bad things about going under this regime? But first, the intro. So before we get into it, make sure you subscribe to the channel. It's so nearly at 600 subs, by the way, which is absolutely nuts. So yeah, we'll try and get to 600 by the end of today. That'd be amazing. I won't be live today, but I will be live tomorrow for Wolves v Liverpool, the watch along, as you can see below me here. So, Qatari investment in Liverpool. So it's not the first time that we've heard about billions of money from the Middle East coming into Anfield, but this time I think it's gathered more legs than it ever has done before. When at first the usuals, like the Mirror reported it, El Nacional, things like that, you take it with a pinch of salt, and even I did. I posted this about 2 hours before I actually saw this tweet come out. But as soon as I saw Mohammed Saeed Al-Kaibi, or at Qatari on Twitter, tweet about this, I sort of had a bit of humble pie, because he's very much more reliable for news about the Middle East. And also Sam Wallace at the Telegraph as well. I think there's two journalists who maybe not are the top tier of reliability, the likes of Paul Joyce, David Ornstein especially. But they're two ones who if they say something, you sit up and take notice. Especially on a matter like this. And I will call him at Qatari for now, but he, honestly, I think has given me a lot more confidence that this deal will go ahead. So let's give it a little bit of background then. So according to Sam Wallace at the Telegraph, both Liverpool and Manchester United are under full swing when it comes to the auctions of their clubs. And it means that there's been immense speculation around the future of it, whether they'll go for or Manchester United, Liverpool, where the owners will come from. Of course, I want to clarify, there is a lot of, in my opinion anyway, this is completely my opinion and off the record of this video, I think a lot of people assume that Middle East equals bad. It's not. It doesn't. I think that it's... I don't want to use the R word here and drop that card, but people are so often more presumptuous of people from Arab countries than they are of people from white Western countries. And obviously we're talking about people who potentially have involvements in terrible human rights regimes, and fair enough. But there's terrible human rights regimes in white countries as well. So I don't think we can point the hypocrisy at that. But yeah, so that's just completely off the record anyway. But from Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, these big Middle Eastern countries all looking to invest in football clubs. Manchester United or Liverpool, two clubs who are sleeping giants at the moment. I mean, Liverpool did nearly win a quadruple last year, so I'd arguably say their giants are fully awake. United are just about waking up after 13 years of slumber, really. But yeah, so Liverpool's owners, FSG, they've taken us as far as they can. Invested in the club, bought them for 300 million, cleared all the debt back in 2010. Sacked Roy Hodgson, brought in Kenny Dalglish, then Brendan Rodgers, then Jurgen Klopp. Have spent over £1 billion overall in their 13 years in charge. But if you put that into perspective, Chelsea have spent just under £500 million in the last 6 months. So I know Chelsea aren't a barometer for success, but at least they're backing their manager. And yeah, it's a bit like this sell to buy model has helped Liverpool get where they are. It doesn't mean that they'll be able to sustain the position that they're in. So an investment of sorts will certainly help. The one thing we don't really want to see is a minority investment. So we saw this with Redbird Capital back in 2021. Liverpool were really hyped up. They're in a bad place, and FSG sold part of their shares to Redbird Capital, which helped them fund the purchase of the Pittsburgh Penguins. We all thought that money would be coming to Liverpool's side, and it would be entitled of us to think so. FSG, really, Liverpool has fallen down their pecking order now, and that's why they're looking to sell. But yeah, we all thought that the investment from Jerry Cardinale and Redbird Capital would help us sign Mbappe at that point. 2020 to 21, we were having a real dire spell, and that gave us some good news. And I think it's no coincidence that this news comes out. I'm wary that it might be a minority investment from the Qatari families, which wouldn't be good news for Liverpool. I just don't see it as a way. I think it's an FSG sort of maneuver to sort of get positive PR in order to keep fans on side, and then utilize that money elsewhere. I just don't see it. I just don't see it being worth the money for FSG. So yeah, it's frustrating for us. It's frustrating for everybody. But the last thing we want to see is minority investment. But anyway, Mohammed Saeed Al-Kabi told the Anfield Talk that Qatar are given priority of the acquisition of Liverpool Football Club, and they are seriously interested. That for me gave it the green light, because it's not only sources over here, it's sources over there, and it's a pretty reliable source as well. What do I think about this? The morality argument is hypocritical anyway. When Newcastle United came in, there was a lot of hatred towards their owners, and sometimes rightfully so. But it doesn't matter, because not only Manchester City, Chelsea, even Liverpool, Manchester United, they've all had the finances and might to cope with it. But I think it would be totally hypocritical of me to say I wouldn't be happy about this news. I care about the future of my football club, and I care about Liverpool competing for the foreseeable future. Of course, it comes in cycles. There's times, but I'd be very, very wary of making preconceived judgments about where an owner is from. That's all. So one thing we haven't spoken about is Paris Saint-Germain's owners, QSI, Qatar Sports Investments. So we're talking a state-backed fund here, which PSG have been bankrolled by since 2011. And it's going to be impossible for those owners to take over Liverpool at the current moment, or Manchester United, purely because they own Paris Saint-Germain at the top level. They've managed to actually get the valuation of PSG to around £4 billion, which is more than what Liverpool are worth. Because Redbird Capital have an 11% stake in FSG, so PSG could also have a minority stake, which could result if they buy a stake in FSG, for example. It will be a completely separate investment group and a private company that will be going over to take over Liverpool, not QSI. They may well receive some funding from QSI, who may buy a minority stake in the company itself. I think we've got to question it. We've got to talk about it. But for me, in order for Liverpool to compete on the pitch, it's what needs to happen. We've had 11 excellent years under FSG. I think they've outgrown and outlived their welcome, and that's absolutely fair enough. And I think they, as businessmen, should admit that and should be strong enough to admit that. They've got depreciating assets in their squad. They need refresh it. They need to refresh it. They don't have they genuinely don't have the funds to do so. So sell up, basically. I don't think all the hashtags and the vitriol will help, and protests. I just think they just need to be told, look, thank you and goodbye. Obviously, we can't sack them. They're owners. But just be like, yeah, thanks for the help. You've helped invest in the stadium, invest in the infrastructure of the club, and really bring us up into the modern era. But for me, it's not it anymore. I think it's time, and I think as businessmen, they should see it's the right time to sell, especially if Liverpool don't get in the Champions League. They might be losing money and potential money on their sales. So, I'd be, if I was FSG, I'd be looking to sell now. But anyway, thank you for watching this video. I hope it's been informative, and I hope you've gathered some stuff from it. If you did enjoy it, then hit that subscribe button. We're trying to get to 600 as soon as we can. And anyway, we'll catch you later on. Bye-bye.